Hi, I'm Azra.
And hi, I'm Theandra.
And you're listening to the A&T Friendship Diaries. House of Dragon.
Season 1.
House of the Dragon. However the title go. House of the Dragon.
Episode 4.
Season 1, episode 4. We just finished. And Darlene.
My mind is still blown.
I know. I almost hate that we had to jump immediately into recording because I need to
process.
It was serious.
It was a lot going on. Like I just
it starts off with the boys doing a little pageant for Rhaenyra. She's trying to pick a suitor.
I'm like, this all the realm got? Like, come on.
She doesn't have good options at all.
I am the princess.
Which was her whole argument.
Where's the fine princess at?
Correct. Bring me the boys.
The first guy, he was talking about, she asked him, was my mother beautiful? He was like, was
my grandmother beautiful?
Yeah, that's what my grandmother beautiful. He was like, well, that was almost 50 years ago. Right.
That's how old you are, kid. Get out of this line. Sir, you're not supposed to be here. And then the baby behind him was literally a baby.
Yeah. Well, he had to be all of 8? I'll give him 10.
I think I was going to give him 12. He looked like maybe he was 12 asking for the princess's hand.
I say 10.
Maybe 10. Either way it goes, she's 18. And I get how they did things back then, but sir, she don't even know what he gonna grow up to look like. She don't got he's still a baby. She don't need that.
Bruh,
She's a princess.
It looked like, you know how when you little, your teeth still be all big and stuff? Like,
can't stand you. He still had his baby teeth.
He like they fresh. Like they freshly grown in.
You know what though? Him and his little baby teeth killed the old dude.
Hey, it was an old dude on the side, like ragged. I'm like, oh, ha, ha, ha.
Right, because you're young.
Yeah, you young. That little boy, when he laughed him out the line. Well, first of all, Rhaenyra started walking away, but when he was laughing at him, jaw janking on the side, tell me why the little 10-year-old pulled out his sword on him.
I will not be bullied, you old fucker. That's how he stabbed his ass.
And look, as they was walking away, we hear the clank of the sword. He was like, "Oh!" I was like, "Man, he better not have killed that little boy." Goes to show, no, the little boy
had stuck his ass. What they say? Don't judge a book by its cover. Because that little boy handled that old man.
Because he was like, "Princess, I promise, on his feet. I will keep you safe." He was like, "Safe."
She has a dragon. That little baby could hold his own.
He could hold his own.
If the dragon is not around and he brought a sword to a fist fight, he ready.
I'd have left too, because the line wasn't that long, and I'm like, "This all y'all got?"
It's all they had, but
this is it.
That was it. But I tell you, the next scene was a beautiful scene. The pageant scene of the men's was not good, but then here comes what's his name, Caraxes.
Oh, they get on a boat. And then Caraxes, yeah.
I don't remember what they were doing on the boat.
Sailing back home.
Oh, well, that's right. She did tell him to tell
because he had set up that voyage. I think she was supposed to go on tour, and she cut the tour off. She was like, at this point, like, this is it.
So when they're sailing home, that's when Caraxes flies over and kind of hits their boat a little bit. But you see this smile come over her face because she was thinking, Daemon's home. Daemon hadn't been there in 4 years. The Battle of Stepping Stone took 4 years.
Yeah.
3.5 or some shit like that. So she hasn't seen him before. So she was 14 and now she 18.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big difference. I'm going to fast forward a little bit, but in the scene where she's talking to Daemon, she tells him, hey, you've matured a little bit. And so he basically says, shit, you have too.
Right. Like, she looking at him.
I was like, wait a minute.
First of all, she was looking at him like, and then, mind you, it's been 4 years. He comes back with his hair cut off, which, I'm a hair chick. Like, I like hair, so.
I like long hair
But
Damon, but I do like short hair. I like
she,
Damon.
because you
So
remember when he walked up, she was walking up beside, like she was in the aisle, but
yeah,
she was
following him.
step by step with him, like she looking like, Damon, you a whole
Snack.
snack. And he's like, you don't matured yourself.
Yeah, he looks good. He comes back and and he gives honor to the king. Viserys is just he makes me sad. I just think he's a very nice, quiet, let's keep everybody happy type king. Whereas in Damon is like, shit, you're the king. Not only are you the king, but we're Targaryens.
Right.
Whatever we say goes.
Right.
And if somebody oppose that shit,
right.
Burn that
Why
shit
you
down.
ruling with a soft hand? Like,
yeah.
I don't want to do, because I don't, the people, bro, you the king. It
Yeah.
don't matter. What you say goes, bro.
But unfortunately, that's not who King Viserys is. So that's not who we get. And that, I feel like that's so hard for Damon to understand because he's the exact opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that you can't have compassion as a king, but you got to have a point of view and you got to stand on it. I feel like Viserys does not have, I don't think he know who he is as a king because he has so many opinions coming in and telling him what to do. Like,
if we go back to episode 1, I don't think that he ever thought he was going to be king. And so in never thinking that he was going to be king, he didn't prepare as much as one can prepare. And now all of a sudden he's king.
Yeah, he seems very overwhelmed.
That's a good way to look at it. He does seem
very overwhelmed with
being king.
Yeah, I think he don't want to mess up so bad that by default he's messing up.
Yeah, agreed.
He's trying to be the perfect king.
Yeah.
And you can't. And you can't please everybody. So
Allison's still around. Who knew?
I have a little compassion for Allison this episode.
Boo! I can't. I understand that her daddy is the cause of who she is, but it does not change the fact that I don't like this little girl.
Her life,
the queen,
her life's miserable. So it's punishment enough.
I mean, you're right. So yes, after the scene with her and Rhaenyra's basically the queen is saying to her, like, your dad did a lot to get these suitors lined up for you to go look at. And Rhaenyra's like, who the heck wants to
be in prison in a castle all day spitting out airs?
Yeah, she doesn't want to marry. She really does make it seem like being married in those times, like, it really sucked. Because all she would do is just be trapped having babies. And she says it to the queen, who we know.
No, that's her exact. And the look on her face was like,
you didn't have to read me like that. That's how the queen looked. Like, you didn't have to speak my whole life. It was the Fuji's killing me softly.
Yeah, she got killed softly.
She did.
She got killed real soft.
I saw it.
Because that's all she doing.
That's it.
She's not happy.
No, she's not. I think she's doing a really good job of
making the best.
Correct, because even as the king's hand, it's still not the queen. Or the daughter to the king's hand, it's still not the queen. So she may have had a decent life before then. It sounds like her and Rhaenyra have been friends since childhood. So clearly she's always been around the royal family, which is nice. But now she is the royal family.
Yeah.
But it seems like for her, that doesn't even really make a difference. Because Allison does look quite miserable.
She does.
I don't mind it because, again, I'm not a fan. But she doesn't look happy.
Not at all. And the king don't look good either.
Girl,
all them bulls and sores.
He looks, I mean, again, it's the time. It's the era of the show. But that's what happens. Like, there's not modern medicine. You know what I'm saying?
Forget modern medicine. They ain't got no Band-Aids. Like, cover it up.
They're just winging that shit. They're literally winging
They ain't got
that
no
shit.
ointment in all the kingdom.
It doesn't look like it, and the ointment they're
You
using is not working.
you remember in Game of Thrones who was the fire witch or whatever? Remember?
Yes, the Red
Wait, they ain't
Witch
got none of them.
has to come and heal him. Have a
Something.
prediction. If you don't get them fingers fixed,
Get them some salve.
that's the
That's the
prediction. If you don't get those fingers fixed, it will be a problem. So somewhere during the line, we see Rhaenyra finds a bag in her room. It's got some boys' clothes in it. It's got a little piece of paper. She opens it up. It's a map for her to sneak out of her room, dressed as what they call a page.
yeah.
So basically, a boy, hide her blonde hair, sneak out into beyond the castle walls after dark, which is not what she's supposed to do.
No.
So she
With the uncle.
She
She
goes.
wasn't
Yeah, I was just
alone.
gonna say she goes down the little hidden
Passage.
yeah, and there she finds Damon. I'm sorry, Damon was sitting there looking good.
He was
as
looking
shit.
good in the moonlight.
That baby was looking hella good in the moonlight with his little hoodie on. I was just like, yo, this is when I realized that who she was sneaking out to go see was Damon, I just knew that this was about to take a turn for the worse.
I didn't know. I didn't. I kind of felt it, but I was like, I'm gonna see.
Because at some point earlier, when it's just them two outside speaking in Valerian, there's a chemistry there when they speak their native tongue to one another.
Come on, native tongue.
It's something there that I get a feel for.
It's a flirtatious bond. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. Let me tell you the art of. I know we ain't got that long, but there's an art to attraction.
Correct.
And I'm gonna tell you the first. Well, they already had an attraction, but I'm telling you where the seed was planted. First of all, she had a necklace on. When he touched her necklace, there was a shy way of his fingers touching her. Like it's those little intimate moments and details.
It took her back to
that's her personal space.
And I'm sure it took her back to when he originally gave it to her. Because when he touched it, for me, it took me back to when he was like, I have something for you. And he showed her and she turned around and she lifted her hair. Like it took me back to when he first gave it to her. Sir.
And David is a grown man, so it's not like he's not.
Oh no, he knows what he's doing.
Endowed in the art of seduction.
He definitely knows
because there's an art to it. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, women we understand the art of seduction as well.
But she's an 18-year-old girl.
Yes,
she's a princess.
Yes,
so
very sheltered.
I was just going to say, I'm sure she green as hell.
Yep,
Damon is not.
He's not,
and they Targaryens.
Right.
I feel like that's enough said.
So
because what was about to take place, I didn't know that it was going to go there.
I didn't either.
But after their trip through the city, he
seeing a little play and all that, getting her drunk.
He takes her to what's it called?
A brothel.
A brothel. Thank you. Takes her to a brothel, and when they first get there, I was just like, maybe he's just trying to shock her. Because there's no way that they're finna do it. And there's no way that they're finna do it in this brothel. This was my mind.
Right, because I'm like...
Because she's the princess. You can't lose your virginity in a damn brothel.
That is, yeah, right. Like, if you're going to romance the stone...
Literally.
Right, like...
Not in a brothel.
No, not in a brothel.
With two people.
Not just a brothel, but the brothel was full of naked people. All over the place.
Yeah.
Literally no privacy.
High orgy.
High orgy. I think it was even... It was like if orgy had...
An orgy.
Right. It was like if orgy had an orgy fest. What is that? Woodstock?
Orgy fest.
It was like a festival. I mean, it was crazy. And I think he did that.
I think he was trying to
shock her.
And then they start making out.
Yeah, it's not the reaction.
What?
Right. It was because because she was like she was confused
At first.
at first.
But then he started being kind of intimate with her, putting his forehead on her head,
Yeah.
smelling her, like all of that shit,
And he was talking to her. He was like, "This is the place
where you
where
get to be free.
free." And he was telling her like, "Don't get caught up in like what you see.
Right.
Like from where your point of view is, you only view." And that came from their conversation.
Right.
You view
Everything is about
sex
duty.
right as a duty, as something that isn't pleasurable, as something that is just a task that you have to do. He's like, "But I want to show you. If you look around, women, it's pleasurable for you.
Correct.
It's supposed to be.
Yes.
This is what it's supposed to look like, not duty."
And
And that,
all of a sudden she begins to release her inhibitions, and she begins to kiss him and be strong and forward with him, and Damon freaks out.
bruh, like he was like, he didn't know what to do.
No, he didn't know what to
I mean,
do,
he
but
knew, but it
he
was,
really thought, though, like we
he
said,
probably thought she was gonna run out of there crying. Like,
exactly.
I think he wanted to shock her and have her run out of there, like, but she was there for it.
She was ready. Baby, you can't tell me Rhaenyra wasn't ready. He flipped her around, had her front pressed against the wall, and he was on her undoing her pants. She was helping his ass.
Yeah, she pulled her pants down. He was
Yeah,
like, wait.
exactly.
And he tried to pull away. She pulled him to him. He was like, wait a minute.
Correct. This is not what's supposed to be happening. This was for a totally different reason. I feel like whatever his reason was, which we find out he does it to essentially hurt the king, but because of his feelings for her, he was just like, oh, so this could go where I want it to go.
Yeah, I think that's what I don't think he was expecting it to go where he wanted to go. Because there's nothing, there's no doubt in my mind Damon's thought about it.
Oh, most definitely.
And would do it.
Targaryens.
And I know he felt like they were vibing, but I don't think he actually felt it would be reciprocated as strongly
as it was.
He thought it was going to take some, some real persuasion.
Nope. And she was ready.
But he was like, man, I could actually get it.
So he
wasn't away. Ready then.
No, he wasn't. He runs away scared.
He ran. I'm like, where was the David that ran through the sand?
Correct.
He ran just as quick.
He did. And Rhaenyra returns home. Now, mind you, when she left her room, she snuck out through the secret passage. When she returns, she comes through the front door.
Yeah, Sir Colston was like, wait, he was confused.
Kristen, what's his name?
I thought it was
Kristen. He's got two names.
I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, dude, the guy that sworn to protect her, he was shook because he was just like, weren't you just in your room? Because she was.
And then she was dressed like a boy.
Yeah. So he came in to check on her.
No, he did not come in to check on her. What she done was, when she ran past the room, he's like, are you okay? So he was trying to ask her a whole bunch of questions. She snatched his helmet off. Because she was a little bit tipsy. And
very tipsy.
Because she snatched his helmet off, he's like, I need my helmet back. And she jumped deeper in the room, like, come get it.
Right.
So he's trying to chase her. So it was a little bit of,
cat and mouse.
But she done that to lure him in her room.
The mouse one.
Yeah.
Because
I think he was the mouse. And she was the cat. So he lost. He fell for the cheese.
He did. He was the mouse.
He was the mouse.
Because she pounced, honey.
Yes.
And he was right there.
Look, she went home hot and bothered.
She was like, I got a trick for Damon.
Yeah, somebody.
Somebody gonna get it. And Kristen was lucky. He was in the right place, right time.
Which they had some chemistry too.
They did. And you know what? I definitely prefer her losing her virginity to him than losing it to Damon. Because we're assuming that she was a virgin. The sex scene made it look like she was a little bit uncomfortable, which says to me, first time.
Yeah, because they was talking about her virtue. So yeah,
Right,
it was her first time. Definitely wanted to be with her uncle, even though that's their thing, that's their custom.
right. But I like it how it actually turned out a lot better.
Yeah, because it was somebody that she ain't related to, because
Oh,
she's gonna be betrothed to a cousin.
correct. So Otto, his little spies come back and tell him that
We have word from White Worm. I remember that because I was
yes,
like, I hate that name.
he finds out that the princess
We're going to the White Worm.
was in the brothel with Damon and that they were coupling, as they called it. Coupling doesn't sound good. I don't like coupling. They were together, they were joined.
Well, he didn't come out. He was like, no, you call him the king. That's the first time I ever seen a king talk cash money and actually act like a king. He's
Right.
like, well, we saw the princess.
Saw her doing
Saw her
what?
doing what? I mean, she was in a brothel. So and he was
Yeah.
like, well, are you gonna make me say you came all the way in my room?
You gonna tell me?
He said, spit it out. I
Right.
want to hear you say the words.
Yeah, King Viserys was definitely bouty in that moment. As the first time he
That's
was
why Otto said
actually king for real.
they were coupling. What?
I don't like coupling. It sounds weird and gross.
It sounds
weird and gross.
Scientific. It
Yeah.
sounds like, something you would hear. And look, if you look over there, you'll see two, a male and a female coupling. Like, it doesn't sound wrong. It doesn't.
He could have said they were having relations. Anything, but he said they were coupling. And King Viserys loses his shit. Get out.
That is a lie.
He told that baby to get out.
He was mad. King, it is not such that I would like to tell you such things.
The king didn't care. Get out. As he should have. He should have been put Otto out.
He was trembling.
But I digress.
King was mad.
Yeah. That's his baby. And on top of that, he's in the middle of trying to get Rhaenyra married.
Now, mind you,
nobody's going to marry her if they think she's soiled.
Mind you, when they're showing her experience looked blissful.
Right.
They flashed to Alicent's experience. And it was just horrible. It was horrible.
I'm rubbing my head because that scene with the king on top of Alicent looked like she wanted to end her life.
She was just laying there, bro.
Look like, can this be over? Will this be over? Can you hurry up? And unfortunately, he was not quick. I just kind of thought he would be.
I was assuming because he probably got no feeling because his
fingers gone.
Yeah,
he got sores on his body,
all over his body. That's how you see on his back was these big old
nasty open sores.
And I'm talking about balls, like that was the size of your hand.
And that has to lay on top of her. Yeah, that could almost make me feel sorry for
Looking at the rats running across the top of the bed.
She was so
done.
Out of there.
First of all, when a woman came and said, the king want to see you. She said, it's kind of late. No, girl, you know what this is. It's a booty call. Like, you already know.
Get your ass up. Oh, I'm weak. Yeah, she was bothered when the maid servant came in and said the king is requesting for your presence. She was like, it's late in the hour. What you mean he's requesting for my presence? She did not want to go.
I guess it's time like that. You be like, can he call a concubine? Because your girl.
I don't want to go. But
and then he was like, you okay? I don't know what he said to her. She was like, no, he said something to her. She looked at him, smiled like, what?
That fake smile. Yeah, you know what? She does her duties as a queen.
And as a king, he gotta know.
Of course, but does he care?
No.
But that's the very thing that Rhaenyra was saying that she doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
God, poor darling. Okay. King Viserys has Damian brought to him.
Yes.
Because he wants to talk about Damian taking Rhaenyra to the brothel And whether or not they actually did do it, Damien, now look, all 3 episodes, all 4 episodes up to this point, he has been my dude. But he never denies
No.
that him and Rhaenyra do not sleep together. So he was just doing it to fuck with the king, clearly.
Yeah.
Because he knows how bothered the king is. He knows the king is trying to get her married off. He knows the king is trying to make
He said, marry her
wise
to me.
decisions in who she's betrothed to.
Right.
Yes, and then on top of that, he asked the king for Rhaenyra's hand in marriage. Damon, what?
He said, I'll take her in her condition. What?
She's not in any condition because y'all never did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was dirty. I don't like that, Damon. I like cunning Damon, but don't use Rhaenyra as a pawn in your moves against the king.
No, because she deserves better than that.
Correct. And I feel like Rhaenyra really likes Damon, even though that's her uncle. So to find out that, he used her and then that's how he asked for her hand, I feel like that would be dirty. They would never be like love. Like,
no,
it
went. I can't wait to their next interaction if they show it, because I want to see what that's gonna look like.
Well, now he's banished again. Brother just got back, and now he's banished again.
Yeah.
Damon.
He was in the king's good graces.
He was. He brought him the stepping stones, but it don't matter.
Now she tells him, "Look, no." Now, so Viserys tells her, "You're gonna marry
the sea snake son."
Yes. Which is her cousin. He's a Valerian.
Yeah.
Which Valerians are originally Targaryens. Targaryens is like a branch off from the Valerians. Correct. Yeah. So it's still a cousin. But she was like, okay, well, you want to talk about, I'll do it because it's my duty. But as a king, you need to do your duty, because accusing me of being sullied or attacking my virtue, that's treason.
Yeah. And the person who attacked her is Otto. So it doesn't matter that he's the king hand.
And the only way he could have this information and get it back to you, it means I had to been followed. And why is he following me?
Correct. And so,
unbeknownst to your knowledge, it'd be different if the king went to Otto and said, keep an eye on the princess for me.
Right. But that's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
Yeah. So Otto has to pay the price, which I'm happy about. And the king lets him know, you've always tried to serve your best interest. Mm-hmm. It's never been about me. Mm-mm. It's always been about you and your family.
Yeah.
Even the king even said, like, it just dawned on me just now, which I don't know how it dawned on him just now, on how his whole situation came about with Alicent. Did he really think that young girl cared about his wife dying? She was Rhaenyra's friend.
Yeah,
she wasn't the king's friend.
He act like
they not even in the same
bro.
Age
you just
group.
Now you what 2.5 kids, 4 years in, and just realized you was set up to marry her
from jump. But you know what? Better late than never.
Yeah,
because now Otto is no longer the hand.
Oh, but for the next episodes, I can't wait, because it looks like it's about to get hairy.
Correct, because of course now Otto is gonna plot against him, because if he can't have it his way, then there's no way.
Yeah.
Which just goes back to why I never liked Otto in the first place.
He just gonna be whispered in the queen ear, because the queen's still his daughter.
Correct. It's still going to be a very thick situation.
And Alicent fronting Rhaenyra, like, did you do it? Like, her whole attitude, I'm like, girl.
She was very judgy and condescending when she was asking Rhaenyra whether or not her and Daemon linked up. Then she even was like,
what about your own?
We know how you Targaryens like to do. That's essentially what she said. Wait a minute, chick. You was gonna
you married to a Targaryen. My daddy a Targaryen. So what your son?
Correct.
Aegon.
Correct.
Is a Targaryen. So what are you trying to say? See, they don't need me up in the palace. I'm just saying.
You would have whooped Alicent for that comment. It was whoopable.
And I looked at us and say something, queen. Because don't make me pull up on my dragon on you.
It ends with the king sending an elixir
to Dracarys
to Rhaenyra to drink.
Oh yeah.
So that just in case there's any consequences to
Her
her
actions.
actions from the night before. And she's just looking at it. And to me, I mean, it's a morning after elixir.
Yeah.
Drink this just in case you created any babies. We can bypass the whole your virtue thing. But if you come up pregnant,
We can't hide that.
there's no hiding it.
We can lie about your virtue.
Right. Can't lie about no baby. The king is smart though. That was a good little move. Clearly he'd been there before. He's done this. So we're not really sure if she's going to drink the elixir because it doesn't, when the episode ends, it doesn't show yay or nay. She's just looking at it. I think she probably will drink it because she should. Yeah. Like there's nothing else. She probably,
we don't want to look coasting.
Should definitely drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another wonderful episode. I like you. Each episode is like a slow grow to something big. Because this whole thing with Damon taking her to the brothel, like that's big shit.
Yeah.
That was super bold of him.
That was.
I'm playing chess, not checkers.
But even if you want to get back at the king, you hurt Rhaenyra in the process. I mean, I thought Damon
was a little bit kinder than that.
I did. But then I don't know if
maybe he's just thinking, oh, it's just a little gossip. You know, Damon don't care about the people and the stuff that they be thinking.
But she did show up in front of his guard and his men on her dragon and was like, just kill me. And he didn't. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it bothered him as much, but maybe it did and we just didn't know it.
What?
Like when she pretty much smacked the big joker down on him when he took the egg. I don't know if I know he gave the egg back and he looked at her like it wasn't really like anger or contempt. But I don't understand why her reaction in the brothel shocked him as much because this is the same chick that showed up on you. That pulled up on you at Dragonstone on her dragon
and was like, "Give me the egg
or kill me."
Correct.
Like you got to do something.
Yeah. She definitely has no fear. She would be a great queen.
She would.
Yeah. She would. I think in Viserys naming her heir to his throne, whether he knows it or not, is a really good selection. Because I think Rhaenyra is the one. I mean, hell, we know Rhaenyra is the one because the white steed appeared to her. Remember on the last episode on little Aegon's birthday?
Yeah. Yeah.
The king was out there looking for the big joker. The big joker was
the white
over there.
Stag was over there hanging out with Rhaenyra.
Steed, stag, yeah, he was over there with Rhaenyra. So she's the one.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only person that has confidence in her is her.
I mean, I don't even know who this Valerian guy is. I don't even.
The sea snake son?
Yeah,
she's supposed to marry now?
I'm gonna Google him because I'm like, I don't know.
Well, that's all right though. We'll be here next Sunday to
find
out.
We will be here next Sunday. Y'all stay tuned. Come with us.
Let us know what you guys are thinking of House of Dragons so far. I mean, we're loving it. We're here for it every Sunday. Let us know what you think. Too slow? Not enough info? What is it? Let us know what you're thinking.
Yeah, let us know.
Thanks for joining in.
Peace.